you started campaign on last year with no great success. Recently, you had a trip to Cromwell. How did that go?
So, obviously, you know that I had such a bad time in the season of 2018-2019. For me personally, the whole 2 seasons weren't the best at all. Through maybe not issues of my own, you know, I did get out a lot, I did get on the bank a fair amount, I was doing a lot of research on places I was fishing, I was kind of trying to keep to the same places. I just didn't come to any sort of array of catching any fish at all, if I'm honest. You know, I wasn't fishing the easiest of waters and I wasn't fishing in the most difficult of waters. I just feel like the time I was there I wasn't able to catch a fish. Maybe it was an issue of my own, but you know, we have to learn, we have to carry on fishing, because at the end of the day you can lose your confidence in your fishing. You know, sell up and buy some golf clubs, let's go on the golf course instead. But for me personally, you know, perseverance is key, and you know, it's called fishing, it's not called catching. So obviously we booked in for the social, for the Northern Carp Freak guys, and Cromwell was the choice of the venue, and it's the home of the 30s and 40s. It says it on the gate as you drive through the door, the entrance, and I literally went on that social as a social. I didn't go the aim wasn't sort of to catch a chunk, it was just to enjoy the social aspects of it being a social. You know, catching the fish would have been a bonus. And we just went from there. You know, the guys over at Cromwell were really helpful in, you know, helping on spots, and they helped every person that was on, you know, that social at that time. You know, saying where was the best places to find spots and wraps, and you know, just general information, which is amazing for the you know, bailiffs and everybody to give that information, because as we know, there's secret squirrels out there that don't want to give out that information. So to actually have that information and to be of a, you know, a very successful social, I was quite proud of that one.
It turned out to be a lot more than just a social for you though, didn't it? Let's go into more detail about what actually happened at the social.
So it was definitely more than a social. It turned out to be a red letter day for me. I had 2 PBs, one being a 16.5 or 16.4 mirror and a 13.4 common. Absolute stunning fish was the common. You know, it's still unreal to me catching that fish, because people go years and years and years without catching a fish that size. And I said it on the day, and I'll carry on saying that it wasn't necessarily the catching the fish that was the enjoyment, it was the memories that I shared with people on the bank at that time. It was just something different, you know.
Big time starting Cromwell off. Yes, brother. Could it be a PB, Tom? Could it be? Boy, oh boy. Don't worry, mate. Fucking, mate, that's fucking PB, bruv. That's a PB, fam. That's a PB, Tom. Fuck. Shit. Big Tom's had one. He has smashed it out of the park with this, mate. Look at his face! Then you practice. Get in there, Tommy lad.
I was on cloud nine for probably a week, 2 weeks afterwards, and it was great fun, great memories, and it kind of switched me back onto the bug of things, you know, to get back out onto the lake and actually enjoy my fishing and enjoy the people that I go fishing with. It was a very, very good day.
So obviously it was a result for you. Did you make any tactical changes from your sort of 2018-2019 season? Did you do anything differently, or did you sort of persevere with what you were already doing, and it just so happened that everything sort of fell into place that session?
I would say for tactics for that session, I was going down the route of just solid bags, you know, looking for signs of fish. If they were showing, there was a few signs of fish showing, you know, a few rod lengths out, to no avail of not catching fish from that spot. As I said before, the bailiff said what sort of spot you would need to be on, and I switched, and for some reason I just switched from a solid bag and just went to a Ronnie rig, and I think I must have put maybe, I want to say half a kilo of pellet over the Ronnie rig. And for me personally, like, I've not used Ronnie rigs for a while, and to actually change to Ronnies kind of give me the confidence back into using Ronnies, because I've caught a few fish on Ronnie rigs before, spinner rig, whatever you want to call it, but I've been predominantly using a solid bags. It's kind of my preferred method, you know. It's simple as, it's, you know, you're getting a bit of bait out, you know, the attraction is there, and you've got that little bit of you know, feed there for the fish. But to actually then think differently and thinking, actually I'm not really sort of confident with it, and then jumping onto a Ronnie rig, and then I was thinking, you know, because what actually happened was I had a Ronnie rig out, and I just wasn't feeling confident. Like, in my mind I wasn't feeling confident. So I brought it in, I checked that the hook was still sharp, and then I recasted it, put the pellet over the top of the Ronnie, and 10 minutes later it screamed away. So yeah, it can be down to, you know, I recasted, I freshened up the bait, the fish might have just been there at the right time, you know, that you could have gone, whether I'd have recasted and changed the hook bait, you know. It's all magic. It's, you know, it's a mystique of what is going on under that water, you know what I mean? We can't see it. I know we've got the deeper and we've got cameras and stuff we can see, but sometimes it's just that mystique of what's actually going on out there. And luckily enough, Big 30 came along and had a nice munch.
It wasn't really a typical winter spot that you caught it from, though, was it?
I didn't catch it from a typical winter spot, no, I didn't. I did catch it from shallows. I did catch it from 2.5 foot of water. It was extremely windy. We was actually going through Storm Sierra, I think it was, or Dennis, or one of them storms, and yeah, it was blowing south. It was blowing southwesterly into the bay. You know, there was a plateau. It was 2.5 foot of water, and you know, it's crazy to think that, you know, we all think deep water, it's cold, it's not, you know, it's not the nicest time of year, it's not the summertime, so they're not going to be in the shallows, but they were sat in the shallows at that time. 2.5 foot of water is crazy, because 65 mile an hour winds, it was raining constantly, it was cold, it was just really unexpected to catch.
And I mean, it wasn't as if it was just pure utter luck, because it wasn't just that one fish you had that session, was it? Like you said, you had a 16-pound mirror, so obviously the tactics paid off and the change paid off. Will you still be using your solid bags? Will you still be sort of using that approach, or do you think you've sort of changed your mindset just due to that session?
I feel like you have to be prepared to change. You know, we all have our ways and our favourite tactics to use on a session, but I feel like you've also got to be prepared to do something out of your comfort zone. Like, I'm not very confident with zigs. But if it needs to be, and I need to get on zigs and they are showing in the upper layers of water, then I'm going to have to change the tactics. So I'm a massive believer that you have to have confidence when you're fishing. There's no other way to say it. If you've used the bait for so long and you're confident in it, then use it. But if there needs to be a tactical change, then, you know, I believe that, you know, sometimes you have to live out your comfort zone to catch a fish.
So that is probably going to be the highlight of 2020 for you this year. But what are your goals for the rest of this season now? What are you aiming for? What would you like to happen in the ideal world?
To be wholeheartedly honest with you, yes, catching the 30 and getting my PB is going to be probably more than likely the highlight of 2020 for me. And as I said before, this catching that fish put my kind of love and desire back into getting out fishing, you know, enjoying the social side of things. You know, I'm very much, you get your people that enjoy their time on the bank by themselves, they can concentrate on their fishing, you know, they enjoy what they enjoy. But for me personally, fishing is not necessarily just about catching the fish. It's, you know, waking up to a sunset in the morning after you've had a really bad night's sleep, you know, listening to fish crash out and nothing's come on your line. You know, it's all these different things, you know. It's an enjoyment of being outdoors as much as it catching the fish. If we didn't enjoy being outdoors, we wouldn't fish. I think the fishing is massively the bonus of it, and you appreciate it a lot more when you can actually get outside and you're not cooped up. Because we always say, you can't catch a fish while you're watching EastEnders sat on your couch.
I think that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to ask. Is there anything you'd like to point out? Is there anything we should be looking forward to? Is there any plans for this year that you'd like to share?
I'd just like to mention, for all like people wanting to get out on the bank, you know, even if you're just going on a day session, get out. If it's not necessarily going and sitting behind static rods and sighting a bivvy, if it's float fishing, it's any sort of fishing. If you want to get out fishing, go out, enjoy your fishing. At the end of the day, you know, it's about that freedom of being able to go outside and enjoy the outdoors. You know, I'm very much a believer that getting out and getting some fresh air is you know, good for you, it's healthy for you, you keep your mind straight, you know, you're concentrating on something while you're out fishing, and it's also really fun. We've got a lot of things coming on with the channel. We're going to be filming a lot more, we're going to be going to a lot more venues, we're trying a lot more waters, just generally enjoying our fishing, not necessarily just me by myself, but obviously now we've brought Phil on board, so you know, you'll see all sorts of different aspects of fishing and seeing the outdoors, and you know, that's the main thing for me, is actually enjoying your session, having a good time, and if you can spend it with somebody that you actually enjoy spending time with, get out there, get fishing and enjoy yourself.
Well, thank you for that. I think you've got me in the mood to go and check up on my rods and keep an eye on the water, see if I can find anything.
Thank you so much, mate. Remember, enjoy yourself, have fun, and most of all, be safe.
So.